Hey there, welcome to the Gyro Step, a Milwaukee Bucks podcast, proudly a part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network and GSPN, and presented by our friends at Prize Picks, where if you use code GYROSTEP, you get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Who wouldn't want to do that? It's an exciting time on the sports calendar. Baseball playoffs, basketball playoffs, and women's basketball. Hockey is starting up soon. Football, forgot about football, that's going on. Most importantly, though, Rohan Katti's here. I'm Ty Windisch. Bucks Media Day is here. Bucks training camp has begun. In a sense, we're back. No games quite yet. Pretty soon, though, preseason games. But we're back.
Less than a week. Less than a week until the first game. It's like the first day of school, Ty.
Yeah.
You gotta get caught up on all the syllabi and things like that. You're not really getting into like the depth of things yet, doing all the introductions and all that jazz. That's what training camp and media day feels like. Just an extended version of that first couple days of class. And it's back. It feels real. Everyone's, except for Giannis, we'll talk about that, back in the practice facility and everything. It feels good. It feels good. The season's about to kick off. Like I said, there's a Bucks game next Monday, which is crazy. And I don't know, there's just a lot of fun things to talk about. We made it. We've essentially made it through the offseason.
We did it. It didn't even feel, with Eurobasket, was not a difficult offseason, even though the Bucks playoff run did end earlier than we'd like. Yeah, the thing about the first day of school thing is the cool kid that everyone loves, everyone's best friend with the light up shoes, wasn't there. So that was a bummer that kind of hung over the day. He did call in, Giannis Antetokounmpo, of course, as you mentioned. And let's start with Giannis, as we so often don't when we're talking about the Bucks, but I think this time demands it. So Giannis in over Zoom, and by the way, the Bucks had some issues with the audio of the training camp video. They actually uploaded a new live video where the audio was better, I think part of the way through Giannis's, and that helped going down the line. But I couldn't make out a lot of what he was saying. Thankfully, I think the reporters who were there could hear a little clearer, and we do have some transcriptions now. But the Giannis made some waves, we'll say, by answering questions about the reporting about his summer. So actually, before we do that, as you mentioned, Giannis is out with COVID. He can't travel because he doesn't want to go. I think technically he could travel because all the rules have been taken away, but obviously doesn't want to travel and get anyone sick, which is the right thing to do.
Love Giannis.
Yeah. So he's late to camp, which does stink. I mean, he is like the most important guy. Like, obviously it stinks for him and his health and being sick, but also just like, it doesn't really work without him to a certain extent, but well, that's whatever. Neither here nor there.
I think it's so funny that TA is there though.
Are they just having him stand in like in some mini, like some lifts? Like, is that the closest they can get? I mean, maybe it's Kuz. Like, we'll talk about Kuzma in a little bit. Maybe it's just Bobby Portis. I don't know who's standing in for him. I don't know if anyone's asked. But okay, Giannis, get well soon. Shouldn't be a big issue, we hope, but get well soon. Get there soon, hopefully. He did sound. He had a gravelly voice. Sounded like he was still getting over it. So, I would. If I could prize picks less than games played next week for Giannis, I would take less than on any number. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Are you saying he's not just going to fly back to the United States, start training camp, and then play against the Heat on Monday? And then go to Florida and then do that? Because I think the Bucks are doing training camp
in Florida. They are doing a few days of camp in Florida ahead of the Heat game, which is a cool thing. We'll see what the basketball in that game looks like, but a fun thing for the team. And I know Doc is big on the bonding of going somewhere for camp to kind of keep the team together. So I like that they're doing that. So then maybe Giannis will fly right to Miami.
A lot of stuff on the team bill.
A lot of stuff on the team card. Okay. Giannis asked about the Bucks. I'll just read through. This is all from The Athletic, Eric Name's article. Eric Name's going to be name dropped a lot in this. Shout out to Eric Name. We're on the same podcast as
We're on the same podcast.
We're on the Here District. We're honored to be invited. We're the B block. Eric Name is the A block. And given the amount of times that here on our podcast, we're going to talk about what Eric Name reported on his platform, I get it. I get the ordering of the two, considering, that seems like the right logistics of things. But very excited to join Marcus Johnson, Chris Johnson on the Here District. Appreciate the invite as part of Bucks.
Such a fun time.
We're on Bucks official YouTube, Rohan.
It's cool.
It's very cool. So go check that out if you haven't already. Also, their audio feed here, District. Anyway, Eric Name, quote, Giannis, I really believe in this team, Antetokounmpo said. I love that we're younger. We have energy. I think this is a team full of dogs. Big word for longtime Bucks fans dating back a few years to 2021. Back to the quote. I think this is a team full of dogs, guys that know their role and are going to try to do their best to figure into their role and try to help this team be great, so I'm excited. I always try to take it day by day, he said later. I deal with what I have in front of me. Right now, Milwaukee, I think it's a great team. It's a sleeper. A lot of people might not take us serious, but I think we're a very, very dangerous team. And then later, in this 20-minute, I think he was on the Zoom for, he was asked again about the reporting about his wandering eye and his mulling. And Giannis had this to say. I want to be in a team that allows me and gives me a chance to win a championship, wants to compete at a high level. I think it's a disservice to basketball, just to the game, to not want to compete in a high level, to want your season to end in April. It's pretty much the same. It's not the first time. I had the same thoughts last year. I had the same thoughts 2 years ago. I had the same thoughts 5 years ago. It is never going to change. I want to be among the best. I want to compete with the best, and I want to win another championship. And that's it. And then there was the weird... Let's cover that first, then we'll do the meeting gate that also was covered. I don't know. In some ways, it's all the same. In some ways, it was a dissatisfying answer. But what were your thoughts, Rohan, on Giannis basically corroborating the ESPN reports we were dunking on all summer?
I don't even know if it is corroborating, but it's
he did say they were true at one point, I think.
Well, I didn't say what specifically.
Fair.
But I don't know. It just seems like the same old song and dance, Like it's a little intensified this summer as we've talked about, but it doesn't feel like anything new. It's the same talking points. It's the same, logic from Giannis, which I firmly believe he stands by. And I take him at his word. It's like he just wants to win. He just wants to win. The Bucks have been, not winning recently. So it makes sense that, that relationship kind of comes into question a little bit. And if Giannis is all about winning and wants to know the best place he can win, he has to think about that when it comes to Milwaukee. I don't think that's anything groundbreaking. I don't think that's anything new. I think it's we've been through this before.
Yeah, I certainly agree. I mean, I have a couple different thoughts on this as well. One is I think despite a lot of people not viewing it the same, Giannis does view the Myles Turner thing on par with some of the big moves in the past that have gotten him to remain in Milwaukee. To your point of this is nothing new, right? Like usually when Giannis has statements or reports like this, it's because the Bucks underachieved, and then Jon Horst, the front office, etc., goes and does something drastic, desperate. You could also say, unconventional, kind of genius in the execution of as well. I think people always use the negative adjectives. But get new players, reform the team around Giannis, and then he's back in. And I kind of think as long as they keep earnestly trying, I just think Giannis is going to keep sticking around. Like
he even said recently on a different platform, like, yeah, I hope that day comes that the Bucks never trade me.
Yeah,
essentially.
I
just think if they keep trying and keep as long as they don't just completely fall off the wagon, I think he's in.
I think anything short of we're 30 and 52. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're a genuinely bad team.
Yeah, which I think some people think is going to be their season. We'll see. I'm much more optimistic than that. But yeah, I also think at the end of the day, I do think he believes what he's saying. I mean, I've said this before in this podcast. Giannis is intentionally dishonest with media at points in his life. Like he will say conflicting things like weeks or months apart. I don't watch basketball, a bunch of this stuff. which I'm not saying is a negative for him. He takes an interesting tack toward the media. I'm sure if I was an NBA player who was not speaking my first language, who's been covered since 18 and all the drama and all the everything that's been going on, I would probably not be 100% forthright with large groups of media either. That aside, I think he believes it. I think part of it is the angle of the pressure, right? Like making sure the Bucks continue to hold up their end of the bargain, to do the Dame wave and stretch, to not do the gap year, essentially. Like, I don't think he has any interest in that. I think part of it is putting on the pressure. That said, I don't see him actually pulling the trigger. I just don't. I just think he has a beautiful, optimistic soul, and he looks at whatever's around him and he's like, yeah, I can win with this.
Here's the thing. Here's the qualifier. I will say that he will not pull the trigger in the NBA. If there's something in that Europe league that LeBron's putting together where he can just play in Greece, I think he'd do that.
I don't think he would anytime soon, but we'll see. I'm very skeptical of that whole thing.
I'm saying the one place he would go is Greece.
I think he'll go to Greece one way or another eventually anyway.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But probably not anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is, I think Giannis is going to have a great long prime, but if you make the bold decision to leave the Bucks for somewhere at age 35, I'm just going to count it that he played his whole career here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fine. If it's
Dame, honestly.
If it's years off, from now, okay, man, totally understand.
You don't think about Dame as a Buck. You think about him as a Blazer.
I don't even think about him as a Buck.
He's posting weird memes on his Instagram stories.
That's what he does.
Yep.
All right, meeting gate.
Think about child support.
Meeting gate. Yeah. We don't have to go into that. Meeting gate. Wes Eden said, either I or we. There's been a little uncertainty about it, but some pronoun. You can't even say that word anymore. It feels charged, but it literally just a pronoun. It was either I or we. Had a great conversation with Giannis back in June out here, and he made it clear he was very committed to Milwaukee. He likes being here. He likes family. Blah 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 blah. Asked Giannis about it. He said, "I do not recall that meeting." Like the Wolf of Wall Street, I do not recall scene. But then he went on to say, I believe in the people that they have around me. I believe in my teammates. I believe in the moves that they make. We're young. Hopefully we can get on the same page and understand what is at risk right now. The last 3 years, I think we've been eliminated in the first round, so there's not much to talk about. So yeah, I don't know. I actually thought this would make more headlines than it did.
Honestly, yeah.
I got
because it's very contradicting the Bucks ownership about your commitment to Milwaukee,
and saying
if there's anything, it's that.
I thought about it. Yeah, it's this. There's actually some juice here, and I think people are just distracted by I don't know everything else going on in the NBA, the stupid Kuminga thing or whatever else. But fine by me.
I think it's also, people, they're paying attention to what certain owners are saying out west. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right. I forgot about another major NBA story. My last Giannis quote I wanted to talk about, and I referred to this earlier, but he said, I know the fans are excited, but I think me and Myles are more excited than anybody about playing with Myles Turner. I think Giannis is jazzed about this new look front court and this young athletic Bucks team.
I think, I 100% think so. And one, because he said it, and two, because it's really exciting, right? Yeah. And it fits with what it connects to what all of he's been saying is, change the team, make it better, get adapt and make the right moves. And this is the right move to make. This was the ultimate coup of the summer in the NBA. And it works out so well for the Bucks, seamless fit, as we've all been saying. And of course Giannis is going to be excited about that. It's awesome. It's great.
It is. You don't think the Warriors getting 39-year-old Al Horford to commit verbally was the coup of the summer?
Listen, man.
Is October 1st tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a pretty major thing that's going to happen there in the next several hours.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't really care. The Bucks might factor into it. Then I'll care. Anything else? Any other thoughts on Giannis that you have?
I just want to see him in the building.
Yeah.
Get well soon, Giannis. Travel safely.
I wonder if he'll
Take
just
care of
meet them in
yourself.
Miami.
You might.
We'll see. Yeah, excited for him to get there. Hopefully, this doesn't cost him too
Is that
much a camp.
further? Is that further distance? Does it like to
Mm.
fly to Milwaukee versus Miami from Greece?
It might be
Probably around
because
the same.
Europe is a lot farther north than you would think, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have
Yeah,
to go
yeah.
so far south. Maybe he'd prefer to just hang out in Milwaukee. That'd be awesome. He's like, nah, I don't want to go to Miami. I'm going to Milwaukee.
Just do all the stuff Myles Turner did.
Yeah, except he's done all that before.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe
he just wants to go to a Brewers postseason game. Maybe he'll come back on Saturday.
he is their boss.
He is a minority owner of
Oh
the
man,
Brewers.
they better not lose in the first round too. I guess they can't. They skipped the first round, so automatically the Brewers will have a better playoff run than the Bucks have had in 3 years.
Yeah, and the Cubs are currently losing to the Padres, so that's awesome.
That's great too. Where do you want to go next? We'll switch off picking. There's a bunch of other random things to discuss between some reporting after from the first day of camp here today on Tuesday, as well as from media day yesterday.
Should we do Horst and Doc? Let's do Horst and Doc.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So I think one of the biggest things about the Jon Horst thing in terms of like actual news is like, yeah, we're trying to work on an AJ Green extension,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And again, that's not actually news. They say this with players all the time, but I think it's just like, yeah, we're working on an extension. We're talking with his agents. We want to get that done. We want to make sure AJ is a Buck. Like that's good to hear. It's good to hear that they didn't just forget about that.
AJ talked about it too. Per Jim Ozarski over on Blue Sky.
Why do I open my mouth? It's a tie game.
I'm pulling it up now. AJ said he's not worried about a contract extension because, quote, that's what faith is. He believes it'll get done when it's time to get done. Per Jim Ozarski of the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel over on Blue Sky. Horst also
Two friends
noted,
of the pod right there, AJ and Jim.
yeah, exactly. They do have until the end of the season. Horst noted that. So there's no immediate rush here. This could literally happen any day between now and like April 15th or whatever. But obviously we all agree. And I think in the Bucks' best interest to get this thing done sooner if we, like the type of season we think AJ could have, especially if he's able to earn a starting job, which we'll discuss, I think, in a little bit. You'd want to get that done sooner rather than later. But I understand also, I guess, if AJ and his reps want to bet on himself. But also, for NBA terms, fairly minimal contract. Locking in that first 8-figure deal does hit different.
It really does, but I get it from both perspectives, right? The Bucks want to do it. And from AJ's camp, it's like, yeah, I think he can be in line for maybe a bigger payday than what we were thinking.
Yeah.
We were thinking probably around like, what did you max out at? You maxed out at like 12,
Yeah.
I think. I said between like 10 to 15, so somewhere in there. So wanting to maximize that is really important, and that could be really important as they go through the season. As you just mentioned, he could play himself into more money as the season goes on and as they sort of flesh out this rotation. But I think that's probably the best, like the biggest thing that Jon Horst really talked about, besides saying like everyone's healthy and ready to go.
Yeah,
which is always you always love to hear that.
We heard that again for today as well. Everyone was good to go, obviously, except Giannis. Horst did have a bar when asked about the Giannis stuff. This team is built to maximize Giannis, but Giannis can actually maximize this team, Horst said, which is like, okay, I feel like he sent that text to Giannis earlier this summer too. There are a lot of guys
Giannis, we need you.
Yeah, please. There are a lot of guys that, like usual, are going to benefit from playing with him, the style of play, the buy-in Doc Rivers talks about, but we understand nothing is going to be given to us. This is a team that I think is really hungry to earn whatever we get, and they want to deserve to win. That's going to be our style, playing together, feature the best player in the world in Giannis, and a bunch of guys that fit him really, really well. There was a theme, I think, pretty consistently of hunger and like wanting to prove people wrong. What do you got?
It's 2-1 now.
Okay.
That's really
annoying. Rohan, love you. I don't care about the Padres Cubs score.
Okay.
Especially because now I'm worried you're going to be like 3-1. 2 minutes later. 4-1.
Okay.
10-1?
Okay.
No, I mean, I changed my mind. I am. It's who the Brewers will play. I am interested.
There you go. It's all connected.
It's all connected. Did you hear what Bobby said about the naysayers? Bobby's favorite word, naysayers.
He really loves
He's
talking
going to let a
about the
naysayer
naysayers.
know.
I didn't catch what Bobby said, actually.
He saw a meme of, it was like all the rosters of the Bucks, basically all the faces of the Bucks roster. And the meme was like, put a thumb over Giannis. And basically these guys are trash, which I've seen versions of this too. And he said, I definitely screenshotted that. And I'm going to be referring to it for motivation because I think there's a lot of guys on this team that can really hoop. He talked a lot about the runs that they've been doing with Doc and Coach Buckner, the defensive coordinator. It's basically putting them into position groups where they're going to switch, the bigs, the forwards, the guards, all this different kind of switchable groups there. And he said the level of play in their runs so far has been really high, which of course you'd hope, but still nice to hear. I think Myles Turner talked about that as well. And yeah, I think that was like one of the most common themes was like young, athletic, hungry, and just not really expected to do much, which I actually think is going to be really good for this team, that they're not, it's not title or bust coming in. I think the opposite energy is probably better for the locker room.
Yeah, underdog mentality, Doc
Good word
Doc
for
Rivers teams
Bob.
tend to do well when they don't have any expectations.
That's true. I mean, so do Bucks teams.
Speaking of Doc, that actually feeds into one thing Doc really highlighted, and he said that he told Horst that they need to win, in order to win games, they need to be playing a different style of basketball, and that's what they're going to be doing this season, which is honestly maybe the most exciting thing I heard at Media Day. And who knows if it actually comes to fruition. People say a lot of things. People do. People say a lot of things. Doc Rivers loves to say things. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, Ty. Doc Rivers likes to talk. If he actually means it, that's great. That's awesome. You kind of have to adapt the way you play because you can't be, just this plodding team with like, a really, a drop big. We'll talk about what Myles talked about in terms of him and his defensive styles later, but it's just you have a different personnel group around you. This team has dramatically shifted since, last media day. Think about last media day when they're coming in with Dame and Chris and Brooke. And, first Bucks media day without Chris in 12 years, man.
Yeah.
It just sucks. But it's a completely reinvented team. And they need to be able to harness a new style of basketball to really maximize the players that they have and win games. So I think that was really, really positive to hear. And again, it's media day. People say everything you want to hear. That's the point, right?
Yeah.
So take that with whatever weight you will, but I'm just saying it's nice to hear.
I agree. It is nice to hear. Again, I've been on this for the whole summer, right? And I know I sound like Charlie Brown who's going to try to kick the football and everything else. Doc has been saying a lot of good stuff. And the last lineup we saw him trot out for an actual Bucks game was the lineup we wanted to see. How much of it carries over, TBD. I am a little optimistic given a quote he had today that you haven't seen yet that I'm excited to read live to you. But I'm also excited to read about our friends at Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app of all time, in my opinion, and the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. So if you want to go more on, let's say, Josh Allen's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns, now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. Maybe if you're a Rohan type person, you want to go with maybe a little more in modest numbers, but Jordan Love rushing yards, where it's probably like 6 compared to 60, passing yards and passing touchdowns. You could stack that up as well. And you can also follow other Prize Picks lineups Prize Picks players directly on the app to copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they play in the new feeds tab on Prize Picks. So they, just like the Bucks, are changing their game to adapt to a new look here. So make sure to get on the action with me and Rohan and millions of other people. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code Eurostep to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. It really supports us here at the pod, and we appreciate it. So go ahead and use code Eurostep or just click the link in our descriptions to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. I want to do something quickly, actually, before the quote I've been teasing you with.
Ooh.
I don't have a ton from Myles Turner's intro presser. He's excited to be here. We've talked about it. He's doing the Brewer stuff. He's doing the Packer stuff. He's doing the restaurants. I love it all. He talked about, being more involved offensively, which we kind of covered in our last pod. He's actually scored more than we kind of would have thought the last couple of years. Being a screener, being more
Doc
versatile
talked about
on
him
defense.
punishing switches.
Punishing switches, yeah, which is a big thing. The Pacers fans disgust me.
Oh, boy.
So
boy.
Myles says, I'm in a city now that wants to celebrate me. There's a great quote that says, go where you're celebrated. I feel like that's here. And a screenshot of this is on, and that, to me, that's so innocuous. If Dame had said that, I would go, I feel like not very fair, but fine. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. That's not going to ruin my day. This is posted on Pacers Reddit, which I don't follow, but it was suggested to me. The title.
What are you doing to get Pacers Reddit suggested?
NBA,
oh,
obviously.
That makes sense.
The current Bucks player. I mean, these algorithms know. Myles' heel turn is getting desperate, is what it's called. This has like 400 upvotes and 300 comments, and they're all like, he's a villain now. They're all talking tough over there. What has he said that is like a shot at the Pacers by anything? Almost nothing. I think he said they know how to win over there, which I think is probably not true or fair. But a quote like this, like, they didn't celebrate him. They tried to trade him every year. They complained about him constantly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it. He's just saying he wasn't celebrated there. And
he's not saying honestly, they suck. He's not saying they're trash.
No, he's just saying he wasn't celebrated. And to us, Pacers fans, we don't know what exactly went on behind the scenes. We don't.
They lowballed there might have been some... Yes, we do. They lowballed him. They obviously lowballed.
Yeah, in that regard, yes. But we don't know like the general everyday feelings of how people were interacting with Myles Turner or how he feels about how he was being interacted with. We don't know that.
He went home, he put together his big Legos, and he sees his phone, Myles Turner on the trade block again. Every year for 10 years. And then he's finally here to get his big free agency after they go to the finals, and he didn't have a good finals, but he was better earlier in the playoff run. And they just lowball the crap out of him. Maybe because of the Tyrese injury, maybe not. But still, 10 years in the league, one place, and they're just like, no, thank you.
Yeah, trying to take advantage of teams not having cap space.
Yeah, the situation, exactly. Thinking no one could outbid them. And then the Bucks move heaven and earth. Jon Horst saying, I did everything physically possible, which is really just like phone calls and emails. But, everything,
you signed a few documents.
Everything capology possible, maybe is a better way to say it. But I do think this is something I said when they first got him, like when we were just shocked. But like, it's got to mean a lot to Myles Turner to be like the one franchise that you played at so long and accomplished so much, and they're like always in trade rumors and don't want to pay you. And then the Bucks, who should hate you, are like, you know what? We'll waive and stretch Damian Lillard, who's on the NBA All-75 team and wasn't that good last year, but still, an all-time great player, huge cap responsibility, everything else, to give you as much money as we possibly can. We're going to waive and re-sign Chris Livingston for no reason for you, Myles Turner.
Might waive him again. We'll talk about it later.
Might waive him twice for you, Myles Turner. That's how much we love you. Sorry, CL.
Sorry, CL. He's happy. Let him be happy. If he truly meant that much to you where you hate him now, you should want him to be happy.
I think
if he truly was celebrated in Indiana to the tenor that these Pacers fans think he would, and not let him not be feeling this way to have this type of quote, you should be, happy he's happy.
I think it's gross, and I've lost respect for the fan base on this one. Okay. I don't think he's taking shots. I didn't have much else from his I think you're right, the punishing switches thing. I think he's going to have a
defense,
great year.
He said he's not going to be really like a drop big like Brook Lopez was. He's going to be more aggressive on pick and rolls, like, trying to trap hedge, those types of things. So that's fun. Can't do that with Brook Lopez.
Brook Lopez should be weird. Brook Lopez should be posting the heel turn is getting desperate. He's taking more of a shot at Brook Lopez than the Pacers.
No. Be like Brook Lopez. Like we're happy. That's so funny, man. It's awesome.
The Clippers jersey patch is Visit Rwanda, for anyone wondering.
Yeah, they should just switch it back to aspiration just for fun. even though it's not a company anymore.
Do you know Kawhi Leonard opened a basketball court in Rwanda this summer?
Good for him. That's awesome.
I mean, but like given the context of everything going on, is that not? Do you not have some questions on that?
Listen,
Last
that deal
month?
was oh man.
Last month? I mean, I'm just saying, like,
oh man.
I just find it interesting. That's all.
Yeah.
At least he did something this time. What was that
He
check?
did.
$100 million?
Yeah. You know what? I'm happy that court got built.
Yeah, out of steel apparently, which I hope not the
what?
I hope not the floor.
Yeah, what?
It was Google Gemini. It's probably way off.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Let's move on.
But yeah, it's like, do you see Bucks fans being mad at Brook Lopez?
No, and it would. I don't know if he said anything. I'm sure he hasn't because he's a saint of a man. But also, again, it would be like you can't complain about a guy a bunch, and then he leaves and he's like, "Yeah, I didn't really like the way they complained about me a bunch," and then be like, "What a bastard." Of course that's valid.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah. I kind of did the same thing with Jay Crowder. Maybe we're all full of it.
Wait, what happened with Jay Crowder?
Let's not go back.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
boss man.
Ty just has beef with so many former Bucks players.
I think only two.
That's more than one.
Two.
If I had a nickel for every time it happened, I'd have two. But it's weird that it happened twice, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no, I think it's fine. I don't think he was being he wasn't trying to take like thinly veiled shots at the Pacers or anything like that.
No, they didn't celebrate him, and now like the whole city is super excited, even though he was like the rival for the last 3 years.
He's just happy.
Yeah,
he got paid so much money and gets to be in a nice city on the lake.
What having Isaiah Jackson looming as the winner of your center battle does to an MF. Okay, here's the quote I've been taunting you with.
Okay, I'm ready.
Per Eric Dame of The Athletic. It's a tweet and then it's a quote. And I want to clear something up because this will come up on the KPJ thing we're going to talk about. To be clear in both of these, Eric is reporting something he was told and then sharing another quote. So the other one about KPJ being a starter, spoiler alert, Doc doesn't say that anywhere in the quote. My understanding is Doc said that and then said more things. So same thing here. Here's the tweet. With so much talk about the strength of the Bucks front court yesterday, I asked Doc Rivers where he thought Kyle Kuzma fit in positionally on this roster. A question, Rohan, we have been discussing the importance of for months. And we got no clarity because Rivers said 3/4, which is what else would even be options. But then Rivers said the following about Kuzma, which I find very funny. I'm going to try to not give you any added color until I get through the whole thing because I feel I make these confusing sometimes. About Kuzma. He was great today too. He had a great practice, made a bunch of threes, but he got downhill probably 5 times today, where 4 of them, they just had to foul him. And 1, he threw it out for 3, and that's what we want him to do. Just shot profile. For me, Kuz's key is just his shot profile, getting that to where it should be. In Washington, he could literally take any shot. In those 5 years in Washington, he took a ton of mid-range shots, and that's just not what we want. And so he got the message. I mean, he took threes and layups today, and it was great. That's the quote. So Doc said, you're not doing that anymore at all.
Oh, man. Doc loves to talk, man.
Yep. He sure does.
I have a very public, as I do it all on this podcast, a very public love-hate relationship with Doc Rivers.
You have to.
This is part of the love, man.
Yeah.
He's so good, man.
He just doesn't. Why would he care? I mean, hate him or love him, discredit him or not, like he's accomplished a Hall of Fame resume and everything already. This is gravy. This Bucks run for Doc Rivers.
He's like, you're not doing that anymore.
We're done.
I wish he would have given more glimpse positionally.
I know.
And lineup wise, but I mean, yeah, that's good. I mean, honestly, I'd trade the layups for middies. Those layups are atrocious.
Oh, well, I get the point though. I think in his Bucks regular season, he actually finished at the rim at a decent clip. It was like the playoffs where he just couldn't. Does the playstyle not give us some insight on positionally where he's at, though?
Yeah, it makes me think he's a 3.
I agree, which is good.
No, I want him to be a 4.
I want him to be a 3 because then you could have a 10-man of...
Well, is it a starting 3 or a bench 3?
Just a 3 is all I said. KPJ, Green, Trent, Giannis, Portis, Anthony, Rollins, Prince Kuzma, Bobby Sims, Amir Coffey. They have too many players.
They do. They have a lot of players. I think him wanting to be like a 3 is honestly not what I wanted to hear. Because I think Kuzma could really excel as just a bench 4 and just put Bob at the 5 and Jericho gets squeezed out and is only there here and then.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a really good idealized version of that lineup.
Maybe he's going to be a 3-4.
I honestly want him to be a 4-5.
No. They have too many guys who can play 5 now.
That's the problem, which is why I have him at 4.
Even without Jericho, like...
No,
Giannis,
I agree.
Bob,
it's
Myles.
bad. It's almost like he shouldn't be on this team, Ty.
Yeah.
It's almost like it doesn't make sense for Kyle Kuzma to be on the Milwaukee Bucks. But I don't know, man. As long as if he's shooting threes and layups and he's playing good defense, that's what matters.
Yeah.
Right? Can he be the wing that we want to trade him for?
There is a weird parallel because Bud told the same thing to Chris Middleton, and Chris Middleton basically said no and ended up becoming an All-NBA deserving player and champion. So
why would you even bring that up?
Hopefully it happens the same way.
No, it's not. I hope if that happens, you know what it's going to be? It's going to be Kyle Kuzma ISO buckets until he requests a trade.
That's fine.
It's just, I don't know, man. I honestly hope he does lock into that role. I don't think that's the best version of Kyle Kuzma on this team, but if that's, I'd say it's a good version of Kyle Kuzma.
I think it's the best. He's got to Aaron Gordonify himself. He's not that guy. He was that guy in Washington, and they lost 60 games a year. That's the takeaway. Like, there's two options for players like this. You demand to be that guy and end up out of the league or in the G League or Puerto Rico or whatever. Shout out to Bad Bunny. Or you focus and become a role player, and then you're Derek White.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say shout out to Marcus Cousins.
God, no. I mean, they don't all, everything that went on with Boogie over there. That's the Kuzma thing.
Bad Bunny's a much better shout out. Shout out Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
I think here's my problem. Who else has it worked for besides Aaron Gordon?
Derek White.
I guess. But he was never like as prolific like a scorer or a number one option as Aaron Gordon or Kyle Kuzma.
Did he make an all-star team? Or is that DeJounte?
Did he? That's DeJounte.
Is it?
Yeah.
I bet he had like a high teens per game. Probably. Did he average 20? He was actually there with Boston too. No, he never got those accolades. He was 15, 3, and 3. So I guess he just developed more as a player.
Yeah, so it's like Aaron Gordon is the prime example of who it could. I can think of a lot of guys who it should have worked for, like Jeremy Grant, like maybe
Jeremy
a
Grant.
little bit.
Jeremy Grant was that in reverse. Jeremy Grant.
he was that guy and decided he wanted to be a star,
and now he's on teams that win 20 to 30 games a year because he's scoring 20 points per game, but it's not good for his team.
That's actually really funny. It's a
he's inverse, yeah.
And they're connected. They got rid of Jeremy Grant to get to Aaron Gordon.
It really shows you, though, that like the talent in the league, I think there's a lot of players who, like, not any player, I won't say, because obviously, like, I don't think Jericho Sims is ever scoring 20 per game on any team in the NBA. Sorry for the shot, Jericho Sims. But I think there's a lot of, like Trent. Like, I think Trent could score significantly more. Like, if they ran plays for Gary Trent, right? Trent's probably scoring 20 per game. But I don't think
if he was a lead guard,
Yeah.
He probably could.
They're just running him off screens all the time and stuff. Like, why not?
He's got a good handle.
Yeah.
He can do things off the dribble.
Yeah. But, like, probably not at the level where, you know, you'd be really good. Like, that's literally the difference is, like, are you good enough to be on ball and the team wins or not? And for 90% of players in the league, the answer is no. But there's still a lot of other things they can do.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. You're kind of talking me into it. He shaved his head, by the way.
Yeah.
And is keeping number 18.
He's locked in.
He's not, he thought about switching to 0, apparently, but is now just sticking with 18.
I think it's a good number.
But it's like, wait, sure. You're doing too much, Kyle Kuzma, is what I'm saying.
He's judged unfairly.
I think he's judged completely fairly.
All right. I don't have any other data points or any other points to make.
I think we're judging him
right.
for who he has shown.
Let's talk about a starting thing we did get some clarity on. Doc wouldn't really give any insight, but then in classic Doc fashion, he ended up just actually saying, yeah, KPJ Scoot is going to start. I don't have that as a verbatim quote. Here's the verbatim quote from Eric Name, who said, after today's practice, I asked Doc Rivers about Kevin Porter Jr. stepping into more responsibility this season, and Rivers revealed they plan on having Porter start at point guard. So, yeah, there's one more. We now know 3 of the players. Probably 4. Full response from Rivers. You think about Scoot and his career. He started out as a high draft pick. 30th overall. High number.
First round pick.
He started. They put the ball in. I mean, was Doc? Hold on. Total tangent. Doc was probably drafted one of the years they had like 6 rounds. So maybe to him, anywhere in the first round, he's like, that's pretty high.
That is fair.
Now I need to look this up. Let's see. 1983, Doc went in the second round. There were 10 rounds.
Oh my goodness.
0 players in round 8, 9, or 10 ever played in the NBA.
So what was the point? I mean, I guess now they switched it.
Yeah, that's exactly why they switched it. So yeah, first round, Doc's like, holy crap, there's 9 rounds after that. Anyway, sorry, go back.
Doc's like, we traded our 3rd through 10th round pick every year? What are we doing to you?
Doc's on board for that. He started. This is about Kevin Porter Jr. They put the ball in his hands. He could literally take any shot, and he did, you know. And now he comes from that, from not playing at times, coming off the bench, being out of the league, to now back to starting, and that's a huge responsibility for him to run the team and still be aggressive. That's the hardest thing to do, I think, in basketball, is from the point guard. Understand when and when. It's just hard, and so I'm sure at times he'll be great at it, and at times he may struggle at it, but we'll support him and get him right. Doc's doing a lot of, like, these are the shots you should be taking coaching, which I think is good. I do think the fact that he is a talker, he doesn't care what people think, he will, quote-unquote, throw guys under the bus, a.k.a. I'd call it radical accountability more than anything. But I think that's what this team needs. That's what maybe that's why his underrated teams are always good.
It's what a team that needs to reset its balance needs. It's like when it's kind of akin to when Bud joined the Bucks.
Yeah.
You know, it's a completely different team. They're going to be playing completely different styles, and you need to kind of reset.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Maybe he's the right man for the job. What do you think about KPJ being the starter?
We kind of thought as much going into the season. I don't think do you think he's here's my thing. I do not think Kevin Porter Jr. is going to finish this season as the starting point guard.
I think he probably will. You think trade or just Rollins wins it?
I think Rollins wins it.
I think on this team, his ability to create shots for both himself and others is valuable. And while we've seen Rollins do it, we've never seen him do it like consistently for a full game.
He is more of a 2 guard, right? Like he's a combo guard, but he's a combo guard, but he's much less of a point guard than he is a shooting guard.
I'll give you this. I could definitely see a world where Rollins is almost always finishing games when we know Giannis's role on offense is going to be ticked up a lot. He's going to be more involved.
Yeah, I can see that. I think there is a real possibility that he does not finish the season as the starting point guard. But we kind of both assumed that he was going to be the starter coming into camp
Yeah.
and to start the season.
I mean,
so to this, it's not really much of a shock.
He was awesome as a Buck last year. Even
In the
factoring in
regular season.
even factoring in, if you view it the playoffs and regular season all together, I mean, it's very good play from him. Total. So, yeah.
Yeah, you can't argue with that.
Makes sense. Big opportunity, big moment for him. I mean, not moment, but like big year for him to like on and off court. You know, is this going to be the, you know, get it all together personally and professionally, or are things going to pop? I mean, that's like, this is it. I mean, last year was like kind of it too, like his moment to get back in the league. But, you know, as we all know, I mean, there's a big difference from like you're on a 1-and-1 deal to like, oh, you've proven now you're a starting level player on a team that is actually not terrible. And then maybe there's a possibility of getting that long deal to really be a part of the team's future. Because frankly, outside of Giannis, Turner, and Bobby, no one's on real deals right now.
Nope.
So it's all kind of up for grabs. I mean, I think Gary Trent will be, but it's, you know, it's not done. It's not official. So
it's currently not.
Yeah.
So it is really a big prove-it season.
It is. It's honestly, it's pretty exciting. I understand why people are scared, but we're seeing the new era of Bucks basketball, and for the first time since like the youngling Chris and Giannis days, there's like we're gonna see new guys step up. Like someone's going to fill the power vacuum, right? Like that's how these things work, and I'm excited to see who's it gonna be. I don't know who it's gonna be.
Yeah, it's going to be literally the only person we know is the top dog. That's it.
Yeah, and like you know, Myles Turner is going to be the center. Bob's going to be the first backup.
But still, he's a new guy.
Yeah, it'll be new for us. You're right. It'll be new for us to see.
Yeah, completely reinvented the roster.
Completely.
And they're going to continue to shape how this roster
There
looks.
we go. So I want to talk about this. Go ahead, because I disagree with you. We're going to argue. Okay.
So probably my biggest highlight from Media Day was Amir Coffee.
Yeah.
Talking, which
is kind of crazy. They had him speak.
Which is what I was literally about to say. Why are you having guys on camp deals talk? We'll get into it. Yeah. And essentially he was asked like, about the offseason and how he's like, getting to a camp deal with the Bucks. And he said, essentially he had a really good conversation with Doc Rivers before he ended up signing with the Bucks. And he thought it would be a good situation based on that conversation. It was then followed up with, about uncertainty around that roster spot and how, he's not on a guaranteed deal and the Bucks kind of do have 15 guaranteed contracts on the books and 16 guaranteed contracts on the books.
Counting Ajax.
He's not guaranteed.
I mean, like there's a partial guarantee. He has a little bit.
Okay, not fully guaranteed.
Yeah,
okay,
so
15 fully guaranteed contracts. Thank you for the correction. And he once again talked about how good of a conversation he had with Doc and how confident he's feeling. So I think based on what you're saying, I think you disagree with what I'm about to say. And that is that I think Amir Coffee kind of has a roster spot waiting for him somewhere.
This is the consensus take. I've seen multiple people saying this, so I was glad you said you wanted to talk about this too. He didn't he gave like a nudge and a cartoonish wink to the camera when he said it. I mean, he's just like, they had a good conversation. He signed there. I mean, it clearly weren't a ton of opportunities for him.
Yeah, but typically the answer would be, I have an opportunity to show what I can do during camp and things like that. Didn't say that.
You think Doc said one of these kids is gone? I don't care which one, but we're getting you in here, Amir. Coached him his rookie year, by the way.
Probably. I don't think he said it. He might have said it like that, honestly. You might have just accidentally quoted Doc Rivers. But I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's total bunk, to be clear. I just thought, I found it funny people read so much into that when I thought if you're talking about, this wouldn't be tampering, but like the bigger, like I was like, oh, be careful with what exactly you say was I think when asked about signing back in Milwaukee, Gary Trent Jr. was like, this was the best thing long term for me in my career. And it's like, Don't say anything else. I mean,
Yeah, Gary, shut up, man.
yeah, I'm just doing a new Fiserv commercial next week. I was like, yeah, just be careful there. No,
Motorola is now
yeah,
sponsoring Gary Trent Jr.
just 4 Motorola's fall out of his pocket when he goes to get. They're just giving him the phones. He has to liquidate them himself. That'd be the worst under the table spot. He's just selling Motorola. He's dropping them in those boxes.
He just becomes a phone salesman.
He just takes a big stack of them to one of those boxes where you can like flip a phone, right? And he's just putting them in one by one. The slowest NBA check of all time. But I see what I'm an Amir Coffey fan, so like I always thought he'd probably end up with a spot.
They need threes. They need wings.
Yeah, I mean they wanna be top 5 he said or 10 in made threes and percentage. They were like first in percentage last year, but not in the top 10 in makes or attempts rate. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean Amir Coffey if he's playing would help that. I don't know where he would play. That's the other thing that I'm very interested in.
Yeah, maybe he plays as more of a 2 than a 3 in some lineups, but
yeah, I still have my tinfoil hat on for the AJ Green thing. And I recognize that I think that I've staked out the claim here, and I don't think everyone knows I'm not reporting. But I'm observing it. I'm still observing it. The possibility, to be clear, of like AJ Green and Kuzma go out and some player who fits at the 3 comes in, and then like all these guards and maybe even Amir Coffey all fit together and it makes more sense.
Yeah. Which I wouldn't be thrilled with, but you can see
depends on the player. I love AJ Green. Again, it depends on the player.
It really does, and it depends on, I already expressed my thoughts on Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, what do you think? I know you're gonna, they could just cut someone, right? That's the obvious.
Well, they would have to, right?
Yeah.
Because you have 15 fully guaranteed contracts on the books, and it's not including like we were talking about Andre Jackson Jr., who is on a partially guaranteed deal, but you can just waive him.
Yeah.
You're not cutting TA.
No.
Which leaves Chris Livingston as probably the most likely guy to be going out. Otherwise, you're getting guys like Tyler Smith, and you don't want to punt on a draft pick right away.
The Bucks might want to. Wouldn't be the first time.
It would not, but you would rather see than try to get some value. It's just it feels like CL is the most obvious candidate. Was
Gary Harris there?
I don't know if he was there. He was at the Bucks alumni golf outing.
Okay.
So he is in.
I haven't seen it. I have not seen. I just realized while we're having this conversation, while I look at the cap sheet, I don't think I've seen a single piece of media involving Gary Trent. Or sorry, not Gary Trent. Gary Harris.
That's all I know. He was at the Bucks alumni golf outing.
They posted no. Sorry. There's near the end of their media day slideshow. There's this really creepy pic of him walking. They got everyone else like doing something, and they just have him walking. Maybe
he's packing his bag.
He's there.
Do you think he would be a potential cut candidate?
I mean, it would be really weird, obviously. Like, I think even weirder than the CL situation if they cut him, because
I honestly could see the CL situation just being like, hey, we want to give this guy some money. Like, I can justify it in that regard. For Gary Harris, it would be a lot weirder.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Sorry to your agent. We did sign Myles Turner to a long-term deal, so we're gonna take this favor back, actually.
I mean, it's still a nice favor. I mean, it's $3.6 million. That's I would do one week of work for that.
I'd do a lot of weeks of work for that.
Yeah, I mean, most of us are doing
summer.
Hundreds of weeks of work for that.
Yeah, get me in there for like a few months. I'll do what you need me to do.
Yeah. I mean, I think the path of least resistance, right, is Chris Livingston. I do think that's the most likely situation.
Because essentially there's three guys fighting for one spot in Andre Jackson Jr., Chris Livingston, and Amir Coffey, all fighting for one spot. And
I mean,
again,
maybe
that's
Tyler
the current,
Smith.
yeah, current situation based on, no trades occurring or anything like that. And maybe Tyler Smith. We can say 4 for 2. How about that?
Tyler Smith also is actually the cheapest right now. If that's what they're concerned, and it shouldn't be because they're not even close to the tax. But like in actual cash, Tyler Smith is 1.9 mil this year. Actually, it doesn't matter, really, because they're already committed to pay it. But he has the least amount of money total, and his next season's not guaranteed. So I would be
so it'd be
surprised because they
easier.
just picked him high in the second round. But there is like I don't think he has more security necessarily than Livingston does.
No, that's true. And I know we've talked about this, but I still find it hilarious that one of these guys who we've completely written off started more than 40 games for this
Yeah,
team
Andre
last
Jackson
year.
Jr. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if some sort of a trade did happen.
Especially because we talk about how this point guard guard room is going to be a competition for minutes and who's going to get like 2 minutes and things like that. Ajax probably wants to fight for that. He feels like he's probably earned a right to be able to do that. I mean, he has actual good NBA skills, and there's no guarantee that like Cole Anthony and Ryan Rollins and KPJ are like good. There's no guarantee.
What complicates this is if you say, oh, they could just trade one of those end of the bench guys. The only trade eligible players right now on the team are, I think, Andre Jackson Jr., AJ Green, Giannis, and Kuzma. Did I say Tyler Smith?
No.
Tyler Smith. Because everyone else, they just signed this summer, and they're all not trade eligible until at least December. Yeah, like literally they re-signed almost the entire roster to contracts. So you can't trade those guys. So they can't just be like, oh, now we don't have the spots. Sorry, Gary Harris. Or, they could only cut any of the players they just signed. So that further complicates this.
Yeah. I mean, less so with guys like Gary Harris. I think they'd be fine just cutting him.
Yeah, it'd just be so
if
weird.
If it came to
weird.
it, I think it'd be weird. But,
yeah.
There's a team in the Bay that needs players. So
yeah.
He could start for the Warriors, man.
I mean, based on who they've literally signed, yeah, he would slot into the starting 5. Yeah, it is. I think that's the underexplored one because I do think, is anyone who's building, potential Bucks rotations factoring him at all?
I don't think so, and you shouldn't.
It's, less factored than Andre Jackson Jr., who's probably getting cut.
Yeah, and I think, again, the only way we've talked about him in the rotation is he's a good break glass in case of emergency guy.
Yeah, which that's nice to have, but
it's valuable. It is valuable. So it's also, plus you don't want things to be weird. It was an agent favor. We all know this.
Yeah.
Imagine it just wasn't an agent favor and they just really wanted Gary Harris.
I've said, knowing Doc, Gary Harris is going to be the starting small forward. We're all just going to be like, what's going on?
But yeah, all of this is to say, I think Amir Coffey has a spot. I don't think CL is making the roster.
Maybe it'll be a camp battle.
Again, but then you say that, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just bad at media. I don't know.
Oh, you think he should say that? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, not like he said exactly like Doc said he's got me a spot on the team. Maybe he's told you'll have a shot. You'll have a shot. Maybe he's got a shot and he's confident. Who knows?
Yeah, again, he could go sign with the Warriors and be their starting 3.
Yeah, not for very long, but yeah.
Depends on what happens with Kuminga and the Warriors in general. Yeah. They're going to be bad.
That's going to be the last moment for me where I think I'll really let the conspiracy die if the Kuminga thing resolves, when it's done, if the Bucks aren't involved. Because I do think the Bucks, they always sniff around opportunities, and a big, unwieldy sign-and trade is definitely an opportunity. I don't think they would get Kuminga. It is an opportunity. I think the Kings would get him, but, the Kings want to move Monk. The Warriors don't want Monk. This This could be a random, weird, big NBA transaction.
Imagine if it was just the Warriors and Bucks, and then you have a Warriors team with Steph, Jimmy, Al Horford, and Kyle Kuzma.
Uh,
And AJ Green.
You're speaking my language.
Well, you want Kuminga?
Oh, I thought no, I don't.
No, okay.
I don't
was
even
like,
really want Monk.
That's the inverse of that scenario, or the other side of that scenario is the Bucks get Jonathan Kuminga.
It is crazy they let this dangle till post media day. Like if there
It's
was some
insane.
trade, like somebody who spoke to the media then gets traded like 2 days later, that's awkward.
Yeah. And it's also like, it's just such a weird thing. I'm obsessed with this situation because it's like Kuminga doesn't want to be a Warrior. I don't think the Warriors want
They do
Kuminga
not
to be
want
a
him.
Warrior.
They definitely don't.
But
want
they
him.
also don't want to trade Jonathan Kuminga to anywhere. So they kind of, even though they
Nobody
don't
wants
want
him.
the player, I think the Kings want him.
Oh yeah, but they don't want Malik Monk.
So it's like, what are you doing? I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Warriors media day must have been like a record length this time. They only have like 6, 7, what, they have 10 players? I mean, they haven't
9.
They didn't officially sign those guys yet, right? Like
They
they
had
just
9
said
players.
they're going to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess no, but not everyone talks these days. I have one more thing.
Okay.
I feel good about my take that Cole Anthony will be a fan favorite after watching him at media day. Cole Anthony rocks.
Oh, yeah. He does. You know, he seems like he's really treated this like, you know, a humbling experience and wants to play his role and also, you know, really embracing what it means to play with Giannis and play with the Bucks and wearing his dad's number and all that fun stuff. It's awesome. It's media day. People don't come out there and start saying the worst things possible. But again, it's just nice.
Yeah, he referred to Giannis as G. He called him the best in the world unprompted, which is always nice. Talked about how excited he is to play with the Bucks bigs and this team, working on his shot, his handle, his guarding. Just said all the great stuff. And I just think he's like a great personality. And I do think he's going to bring some like fire. Like I've seen people point out like no one dove for loose balls on the Bucks last year. And Cole Anthony will be like sliding across the floor. I'm excited they brought this player in.
The only player that did that was Giannis, and it was really bad.
Or like Chris, and you're like, please God, don't.
No, it's like, no, Chris, do not do this ever.
No, maybe
No.
in Game 7 of the finals, no other situation should you be hitting the floor on purpose.
Chris, I would rather Chris shove someone else to the floor.
Yeah, throw someone. Throw Cole Anthony.
Oh, man. But no, Cole Anthony seems fun. Again, it's a young team. It's and it's not like, you know, one of the youngest teams, but it's a relatively young Bucks team, and they seem super excited, and they seem like they want to play in a new direction, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited even for the preseason, like knowing Giannis may not play at all, maybe like the very last game, like we'll see, you know, when he's able to get there and get ramped up. Obviously, never fully ramped down, so hopefully that'll help a little bit, but even just seeing like everyone else, like I'm excited to see these players fly around. I'm excited to see kind of the more aggressive defense we've heard about and like doing more and just what having Turner allows them to do on that end. And I'm telling you, I think he's going to have a monster year.
I think so too.
If I had to pick right now, who do I think besides Giannis would be an all-star? I'm picking Myles Turner.
Okay. I'm
going to plant my flag there.
I'm going to say Trent.
That's fair.
But Myles Turner makes a strong case with the defense too.
And can't you just see the Bucks campaigning for it as like, you know, the beast in the East front court, like that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not uncommon for double front court all-stars in the East. I mean, the Bucks have to be good enough to get 2.
Yeah.
So that's a big if in this entire situation.
They're a big
front
court.
Yeah, if there was to be a second all-star, it'd be awesome if it was Myles Turner.
Did you see Wemby got taller?
Did he actually?
There's a pic from his rookie media day and from this one, each with Rachel Demita. And I don't know if the uniforms are different or something, but on the first one, her head is at like around like the middle to top of his number. And in the second one, her head is to the bottom of the number. And he does just look taller.
Man.
Speaking of a beast somewhere, I mean, if that guy could stay on the court, dude.
Is he the one guy you trade Giannis for?
I don't know if I could really do
I
it. I
don't, you
mean,
know
you
what?
should. You objectively,
You
you should.
should.
You should.
Now that I think about it, I don't think I could ever do it. I could never trade Giannis.
No, because like this
You
is
can't do it. You just don't do it. Unless he wants it, you don't do it.
and like from the pragmatic brain too, like this is a young Bucks team, but it's not like we're gonna peak in 3 years Bucks team.
No, they're not a team set up for internal development.
No, and then they have no picks, so it's kind of like, okay, how are we gonna, like the Spurs, like it's a good situation for Wembanyama. So, and obviously the Spurs.
I'm glad it's in the West.
Let's rephrase this. Is there any trade offer you could make for him? Like, I think probably not.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, if you wanted to be ridiculous, right, and say like all three of the OKC big three and all their picks, but that's absurd. Like a realistic, like we'll give you this player for Wemby. I think that's probably the guy we'd.
Would you even still do that?
Yeah. Yeah,
J-Dub, Chet, and Shea
and all the picks. Yeah. I mean, that's
and all the picks too,
and all the
okay.
picks. Yeah, because then your team is just those three guys: Castle, Vassell. I mean, you'd have to send some other salary, but like,
okay, I was like, I don't know if I'd do that.
That's absurd. I mean, that's like everyone else should just fold at that point.
Yeah.
Send Fox somewhere. That'd be
Well, isn't that just current OKC?
Kind of. Yeah, it's like but
the
the Spurs are like. Like the Spurs also have like a top 5 draft pick class, and they have some other good young players. I mean, the reigning rookie of the year, Dylan Harper,
Castle, Harper, yeah.
They just Carter Bryant, who I think he's going to be a defensive monster.
Oh yeah, that's your guy.
Yeah, looks a little rough offensively, but defensively looks really nice. And Fox and Vassell, like Jesus, that'd be.
Keldon Johnson. I saw a tweet.
About Keldon Johnson.
You know that guy who tweets like all the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it's like, someone's wearing number 0 last worn by Keldon Johnson in 2025. And this was this morning, actually. And I legitimately had to do a double take. I was like, did I just completely miss out on Keldon Johnson getting traded somewhere?
He just switched his number?
He just switched his number. So I was like, is this just a complete blind spot for me? No, he just changed his number.
That would be, I feel like he's like the no impact Myles Turner, where I feel like he's been on the precipice of being traded for like 2 years now, and nobody does it. Nobody cares. Sorry, Keldon Johnson, but that was when we were at our darkest. When we were like, should the Bucks trade for Keldon Johnson?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that do for you? I don't know.
What does that do for your team?
Different,
but it's something. It's something.
Yeah, it's provocative. It gets the people going.
But now seeing this Bucks team at media day, you can see how different they really are. And, preseason's coming up. They're going to be heading to Miami or Florida or wherever to do a few days of training camp. And we're coming up on another Bucks season, Ty. This is number 7 for us.
Started in 1920. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1920. So wait. 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this will be year 7.
That's crazy.
Wow,
that's awesome.
Season 7. And if you count our behind the Bucks pass stuff, like almost 10 at this point.
Oh yeah. We've been doing this for a long time.
But yeah, the pod, season 7 of the pod, pretty crazy.
That is crazy. But season 7 will roll on. It sounds like it's season 7 of the Gyro Step, but I mean, in some respect.
Yeah, we got some fun stuff planned for our in-season coverage. We'll probably reveal a little closer once the regular season kicks off, but we got to lock in our scheduling for a couple things. But we have a good plan. We're going to be bringing. I'll share this. We're going to be doing 2 pods, I think, every week to cover all the Bucks basketball that's going on. So I can't wait to chat with you even more often, Rohan.
Super excited as always. It's, you know what? It's just fun talking basketball with my friend. Yeah. That's all this is.
It really is.
So we will have you covered for all things Bucks as the season preseason starts to kick off here on the Gyro Step, part of Blue Wire and GSPN, presented by our amazing friends over at Prize Picks. Make sure you are subscribed wherever you're listening to or watching this podcast, whether that's your podcast platform of choice or YouTube. 5-star rating and review, subscribe, like, comment, all that fun stuff. Pod random. And we'll talk to you next time.